That shit taught me everything I fucking know almost pretty much. And Rich
100%.
Dad Poor Dad helped a little bit too, but.
I never read that book. So they be talking about, he talks about stocks or he just talks about
It's not
concepts
stocks.
and
It's
shit?
not really stocks. He's talking about more about like money mindset.
Mindset, yeah. Theories and shit.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's talking about how he had his real pops was like, I guess, his poor dad, and then his step pops was like his rich dad, and then he's seen the way they looked at things.
That was different.
And it was just like, oh yeah, I'm trying to rich dad mindset.
What's his name? Robert Kawasaki or some shit? Kawasaki?
Kawasaki or some shit.
Something like
Yeah.
Nah, but I like him because he be on interviews, bro, and he be blacking on dudes.
Nah.
There's one interview where he really blacked on some dude. I forgot. Like he was asking him a question. He was like, "Yo, I don't want to talk about this," and he was about to get up and leave. It was crazy, son. Nah, he's good. He's a good dude. He's funny.
His real pops must be sick though.
Yo,
Nah, but he's rich now. Yeah, he probably, but
Probably
you know,
dead, to be honest.
uneducated, financially died. You know.
nah,
what I mean?
but he does talk about a lot of
Straight up
great things he
poor.
learned from his
He does. Okay.
his poor father.
Okay.
But it was like more like hardworking man, be a good husband,
good stuff to
be a
know,
good
you know what
father,
I'm
things like that. But as far as money mindset, you know if you learned it,
Yeah.
or if you're taught it, or if you're around people that mentor you around it. If you're
Yeah.
not, you only know what you know if you don't seek that information. Because they talk about that a lot too. Like a lot of like rich CEOs, they not present in their home or in their family's life or some shit too. It's a balance, you know.
And it's like, is
But
it
they're
worth
just
it?
unhappy too with their life.
Super
Yeah,
unhappy.
facts.
They be killing themselves and stuff. Like, yeah.
Literally, like what? It's like the CEO or the CFO of Bed Bath & Beyond, like killed himself.
Oh, he did? Damn.
Yeah, they went out of business completely though,
They
right?
did, yeah,
They just
yeah.
But
dubbed.
like, that's why your work cannot define who you are, because
Right.
Yes.
why would you
This is
solely,
crazy.
Yeah.
why would you solely be to kill yourself and you have a family?
You have so much to live for.
Like what?
Yeah.
Unless you don't have a family, but yeah.
Nah, it's crazy you said that because one of the main talking points we had was about
What defines
what
you?
defines you, how to define yourself, and about
That's
that.
funny you said that. It's
So
hilarious.
it's just do the assist, the alley-oop real quick. But
But yeah, what do you think? Like, and it's an OD like heady question, right, or a philosophical question. But like, for you, what do you think defines you? Like, in your own eyes, what do you think defines you? Like, if you had to tell people who don't know who See God is, don't know who Christian is, what can you say? Like, what can you say? What defines you? I don't know.
But I feel like as a person trying to define yourself, right? It's like you gotta identify certain things within yourself, like identify your core values, identify your goals, and then live within those values to reach your goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's so many different things, right? Like, I don't know. I know some of my core values is like honesty and just integrity and these things that I live by to get where I go in my vision. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like,
No,
I don't know how specific
for
to
sure.
go. You know,
Honest, integrity,
loyalty, just
the basic. That's basic shit. but
kindness,
like, yeah.
kindness. You know,
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah. That's why I want to talk about, like, that's why I thought about music in relation to that. Because, like, for me, if I think about, if someone asks me, Miles, who are you? It's easy for me to say, like, I don't know who I am. I can't explain it to you in words, but if I give you these 5 albums, you listen to these 5 projects, you'll get an idea of who I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to ask you, what, is there like 3 to 5 projects that can, like, show the world who See God is? Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton. There's more than 3 to 5.
No, for
you
sure,
know what
for
I'm
sure.
saying?
I mean, hell yeah, niggas listen to music all the time. So
But
of
it's
course.
also like, from my perspective, right? If I'm picking these albums, it can have a significance in my life, bring me back to a time.
Yeah.
But maybe someone just see it and they don't.
They don't understand.
They don't
it.
understand
Like
it.
they won't grasp it. I got you.
Right. And I feel like that's also a way I listen to music too. It's like I'm very, if I believe in an artist, it's like I have to fuck with the person. You know, it's not always just like entertainment purposes. It's just like, nah, I fuck with this person the way I subscribe to their views, I subscribe to their, in a way, you know?
No, I hear you.
But so the first 3 albums that come out to like off the bat, is not gonna be expected albums, but
Okay.
Styles P Green Ghost Project
Ooh.
is a just
Green Goat. I like that.
it's super slept on mixtape. I don't even think it's on like Spotify, Apple Music.
You got shit
and
on
like
that Piff, I think.
It's on YouTube.
YouTube.
They got the clean version on Apple because it's Styles P and DJ Green Lantern.
Yes. It's like the animated cover, right?
Animated cover. It got like shadows.
Yeah, they're talking about.
It got what's the other name of that shit? It got a few. That shit came out in like 2010 or 11 or some shit.
Yeah.
But that shit was just it was a crazy time in my life, and the album was so deep and just like I just resonated with it so well, and it was like, all right, this is hard. This is it. 808s and Heartbreaks was tough for me. Like that shit. Another one, but these albums, they came out in times that I was going through something that I was able to resonate with the album.
Yes, 100%. And that's an album I think people don't really even like. If they weren't there, they don't know how big of an influence that had on hip hop in general, right? Like I really don't think there's a Drake, at least the way we think of Drake, without that album. Yeah. That shit made it cool for dudes to start singing, like
or even just talk about their heartbreaks or they shit. But I feel like Drake, Cudi, Travis all stem from that Kanye era. Yeah, and I don't think that's Kanye's best album, and it's not my favorite Kanye album, but it's one that I connect with.
No, hell yeah.
And the other shit.
What's your favorite song off that shit?
I mean, the whole shit is fire.
Amazing's fire.
Heartless is tough, obviously. That's
dope.
Like the
RoboCop is like my shit on a low.
Nah, this track list is crazy. Say You Will. Welcome to Heartbreak. That's the shit.
That's my shit.
My friend showed me pictures of his kids. All I could show him was pictures of my cribs. That shit go hard. Love Lockdown. Yeah, too many bangers. But and then Hegelian Dialectic, Prodigy shit.
Niggas ain't know about that. People don't know about that album.
And
they don't know about that. But that you saying that explains, like, it shows a glimpse of who you are in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people don't know about that album. The content of that album, what he's talking about, just like, well, you explain it. You know
the way he said it was, first of all, that was his last album before he passed. He passed like a month or two after, or a little while after. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that album was his magnum opus.
He said that?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Like, he was saying that album was his Bible. Like, that was his knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Everything he learned from you know, I guess going through what he been through in jail, in the rap game, or in life, having sickle cells, like dealing with what he believes in, government, conspiracies, all that shit was all in that album, man. If you haven't heard it and you're into rap and you're into like high level rap, Hegelian Dialectic by Prodigy is amazing.
I like that.
But yeah, I'll say those three. This is a weird range, right?
Nah, it's fire. You said fucking 808s, Hegelian, and what was the first joint?
The Green Ghost Project.
That says a lot.
And that's only three. I mean, I got so much more. Obviously, like Godson, that's the first album I ever bought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing, and that's what Tyler said. Tyler Creator said how, like, he was talking about people do this. Everyone got their own fucking top five list or whatever, but like he don't care. Like, I want to hear what your specific top five list is. And some people killed him on the internet. I understood him because, like, yeah, I can name like the top 5 rap albums or top 5 rappers, right? Like, in objectively who I think they are. But those top 5 guys didn't have that big of an impact on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I like?
Oh, you saying okay? So you're saying
like Patrick Ewing, bro, is one of the best niggas of all time. I didn't watch Patrick Ewing. I watched Carmelo.
Right.
Melo's like my Nick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the dude who influenced 100%. Me, who like had a big impact in my life. So it doesn't take anything away from Patrick. I still respect him. He's a GOAT.
Of course.
But in hip hop, it's like the albums that really affected you, that really you were playing in the crib.
And you're like
Toshiba,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Downloading from LimeWire, like those albums. That's the point, you know. So
yeah.
So what's your 3?
My 3 for me is like, I gotta break it. So I'm gonna say, and it's still gonna sound cliche, which is whack, but like, but like I'm gonna say like Nas' second album, It Was Written. As we were talking about Nas the other night, niggas had a big argument about Nas. Nas' second album, It Was Written. I think about my childhood, bro. That's like that album and Reasonable Doubt. So it's hard to put one over another.
It's also Nas' best album. I mean, actually, it's arguable, but It Was Written is it. But
just that, I think 1996, like that era of music, I could pick anything from that era, and like It Was Written was crazy. And then if I'm gonna go a little further on, I put Hell Hath No Fury, but I'm gonna put Lord Willin'. Because when I first
album?
when the clips came out, bro, and I was 10 years old,
So you picking Pusha over Drake.
That's funny. The third album is Views.
Drizzy. Back to Drizzy.
I got Drizzy on that too, because niggas know I love Drizzy, bro. Like Drizzy, and that album specifically, Views, is like a crazy album where he touches on every sound. Like he has his deep tracks, right? He has it like with Keep the Nine, Keep the Family Close, Western Road Flows, Views at the End. Then he has like his party songs with his Controller, One Dance, other joints. He has like every kind of song, and his love songs, Redemption. Views is a great album. Yeah. That's one. It was ran, and Lord willing, just because when I heard Grindin', bro, like we grew up in the era when Grindin' on the fucking lunch table, dogs, like that beat is to me the greatest beat of all time. I don't care what no one says, it's the greatest beat of all time. And yeah, so for me that just and also with the clips, it got me into fashion in a way too, right? Like seeing them with Bape, I was like, nah, they look, I like that. Like, why do I like what they weren't? No, it was like the first time I got my head into like
it was a little different.
Thinking about being fly. Obviously Pharrell had that influence and whatever, but Clips' album is dope. That's my shit right there. But,
yeah, I feel like Clips don't get mentioned a lot too.
They don't.
That's another hidden gem, real quick, low key.
But Pusha did lose the battle to Jim Jones, but dudes don't want to talk about that. He ain't respond. And I'm a biggest Push fan, but he ain't respond, son.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If you don't call that a battle, I mean.
Is it a one-sided just?
Because it's not like he dropped. I guess he
ain't like drop a diss track.
He did subliminally,
yeah,
right, in the fashion show, the LV fashion show, and then Jim Jones obviously responded and it was fire, and that was that.
Yeah, but if I subliminally diss you, and then you say my name and you say he said some shit about his brother,
yeah,
like goes to the bed with.
Yeah, he said you still jump in the bed, tell your brother to move over.
That was nuts. I was like, damn, I got a brother. That's crazy.
Yeah. Nah, I can't
respond.
front.
It's like, damn.
Push made me look bad, bro. I'm out here jacking Push, yo. But whatever.
Oh, man.
But I think Jim Jones got real good over time.
100%.
Like he raps better today than he's ever rapped in his whole life. And there's not many people from that era that got better sonically.
I don't think there's anybody really who gets better.
Well, Prodigy was one of them.
Oh, Prodigy was.
Because he had the Albert Einstein album with Alchemist and shit. And I think I mean, Kissing, obviously there's so many, Nas.
No, I'm saying in the sense of like they were whack rappers and then they became good rappers. Like Jim Jones
okay,
sucked,
I see what you're saying.
He was not a good rapper, and then he became a decent rapper. So like, Prodigy never sucked. He got better, I guess, but he never sucked.
I see what you mean. So you feel like those albums define you?
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
If you're gonna just do 3, but then if you're gonna add the 4, I think about Get Rich or Die Trying. Like that album was like the first time seeing a rapper. Like we was like 11 years old when that shit came out. Like we watched him. I remember my brother had this. I don't know who told him this, but he was like, "Yo, on 50's album, he's gonna have a skit with the hairdresser that fucked Ja Rule." And then if you remember on the album, there's a clip. There's like a skit of like I think he's just a dude like woman, playing, pretending. Yeah. But my brother told me I thought he was like for real. Like it was like a scandal. He was in the. It was like a whole culture. It was just funny, bro. Growing
like
up
history.
Yeah, history. Like, dude, he had the best mixtapes for a minute going up to that album, and then he dropped
50.
Yeah, and he dropped like the best album.
Didn't 50?
That shit went. Dudes was wearing tank tops, bro, like in the street, like on a daily basis. It was a wild time.
Didn't 50 create mixtapes? Like, he was like one of the first. They was like the first people to be dropping mixtapes.
I don't know. I got to think about it because DJ Clue might have dropped tapes before him.
But DJ Clue's a DJ. DJ Clue's a DJ. Also, G-Unit was like the first people to be rapping on other people's beats.
Yeah.
On the tape.
That was crazy. People would take your beat and rap better.
And like make it a joke, make it funny.
Yeah. No, so yeah, Get Rich or Die Trying for me was definitely a big. I mean, for you too, I think it was for you too. It was
100%.
Wikipedia says that in early 2000, New York's 50 Cent and DJ Who Kid helped build the traditional mixtape model as it's commonly understood.
So we said it. Who Kid and 50?
Yeah.
So that's crazy because that's changing the game forever. Creating mixtapes is crazy.
And then you seen Wayne.
Well, they were mixtapes. There were mixtapes before, but the format of the mixtapes, the way they've been in the past few decades, stems from
them.
That
makes sense. Yeah, it was a crazy time. And then it became obviously Lil Wayne took that shit to a whole different level. And I don't think mixtapes are a thing anymore. Like people don't drop mixtapes no more. Like they drop albums now, right? Like on streaming services.
I mean, I just think a mixtape is an album now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's like, unless you have like a quote-unquote debut album with a new label or something like that, you drop a body of work, it's just a project, it's just...
A project, they do that
because the
body of
mixtapes
work.
is on Apple. It used to be where the albums was in store and the mixtapes was on like that pip or some shit.
Yeah, or on 14th Street, you gotta go to the African and
yes.
buy the mixtape off
Exactly.
them.
But now it's just like, yo, everything is just a project to bump, so...
Nah, I think that with the mixtapes, you can't have them on the streaming services unless you get the beats that you use clear. So that's why it takes many years later for some of these mixtapes to get on the streaming services, but you're not gonna find a lot of them just because they using other people's beats.
Yeah, because they're licensing. But are people even because of that? Are people even doing that anymore? Are people rapping on other people's beats anymore?
I think it's rare.
It's rare, right? Yeah.
Probably still happening, but it just doesn't have the same reach as it once did.
I miss that shit.
Yeah, that was a good time.
That was the whole thing with DJ Drama. He got like the feds went after him because he was like selling his mixtapes, and it was like other people's beats and all that shit. Like
He was making bread off
he's
that
making
shit.
bread, yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, that's just crazy. So how do you, when you think about like what defines you?
Yeah.
How do you gauge that? You know what I'm saying? Like how do
I define that?
how do you define what defines you? Yeah, type shit. Whether it be just in music or in life, you know?
I don't know. I like to look. Like I'm always looking forward, and I'm in the present, but I also like to look back. So that sounds a little crazy, but like I do look back on my life, and I try to look at the phases of my life because I've been through different phases, growing up and shit. And then because the only way I'm gonna, like, how do I explain it? Like the only way I'm gonna go. How do I know where I'm going if I don't know where I've come from, right? So I always look back on where I've come from to see how far I've come from that and where I'm at right now. So if I ask about defining myself, I think about the things I've been through, the traumas I've been through, the excitements I've been through, the funds I've been, right? The excitement I've been through, all that jazz, right? And then I think about what excites me, what makes me happy, what I like to do, who I love, who I don't like. And it's a million things. We're not like we're as humans, we're onions, so there's mad different layers to us and shit. So when asking like how do I define myself, I got to look back on my life, and I think about myself. Like I think about the things that are important. You talked about values like ethics, and you talked about your core values. I think about that when I think about me. Like, who am I? Like who would I want to? When I'm gone, even though I really don't, who gonna leave the biggest legacy? like Max B said, right? Like who gonna be remembered the biggest? Not even that, but when I'm gone, how are you going to remember me? So I think there's superficial shit I can say, right? Like I am into like Malcolm X and like not superficial, but like those type of things. But then there's things that I want people that are around me and I want them to know that I care about them. I want them to know that I love them. You know, I want them to know that I got their back. Like that's the thing that I want them to define me. Like I want if you met me and you've been around me for a long time. Like I don't know, I got your back. I don't know, like I guess loyalty in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like
Loyalty definitely, I would imagine is one of your joints, because I mean we've been fucking friends
for a long time, for a long time.
But I think that is important to be able to self-reflect and ask yourself these questions, because a lot of the time, and we spoke about this before, like you get caught up, you know, and you end up doing shit, and then after a while you're like, oh shit. If you ask yourself these questions, like damn, this kind of doesn't align with what I believe in, or hanging with this person doesn't really, you know, do what I want to happen when I want to hang out with people, or stuff like that. So it's like it's important to reflect and then make conscious actions from that.
And that's why I was telling you a little earlier today. I was watching this Huberman, Andrew Huberman pod, and he was talking about how your identity influences your goals, and then your goals also influences your identity, right? So like they go hand in hand, like who we think we are, and then the goals we set for ourselves, right? Like those are tandem, they're fucking right hand. So like whatever I wanted to do, like I think of myself like I'm back in school, I'm working full time, I got a girlfriend, I see my people from time to time, you know, I work out. Like those are my goals. I have goals in that area, and that kind of defines who I am as a man. You know what I'm saying? And also my identity of myself, like I think I'm I have a high self-esteem, so that influences what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I hold myself high, so I want to do the best I can do. You know what I'm saying? And the other side of it, people, when you have low self-esteem, when you don't think much of yourself, that can make your goals be so minuscule. You know what I'm saying? When you're like, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
Then you'll be like, I just want to fucking pay my. I don't know. You set your goals really low, so it goes hand in hand.
Or it's that you set your goals so high that you never reach them, which makes you feel
That
lower.
That goes to that's the other side of it. Yeah.
So that's why sometimes it's even good to, because a lot of the time we'll set big ass goals, and then we'll feel unfulfilled for never reaching them. But it's like, all right, you want to read a book, right?
Starts with a page, starts with a word.
Yeah. So let me read 10 pages a day or 5 pages a day, and you set them little goals, and you still get that dopamine rush.
Yeah, serotonin
for accomplishing the small goals, leading to the bigger goal.
But that's the thing, right? Like exactly, you gotta have a bigger goal, but you also gotta have a little goal. You gotta have little goals. I'm saying, like you gotta have the big goal of reading a book, but then every day I'm reading a page or 2 pages or 3 pages. They go hand in fucking hand. People
and
think
it's the
they
same
don't.
shit as like, yo, I'm gonna fucking own a real estate empire.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You gotta get your license first.
You gotta
study. You know what I'm saying? Like there's little things you gotta do in between that goal. People don't know that. People like set these big goals and they're like, okay, then they set these big goals and they're like, yo, they have this high self-esteem themselves. They're like, fuck it, I can just do it and I'll get it. But they don't have no plan to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they end up falling and fumbling and then they hate themselves. It's just it's a vicious cycle. It sucks.
And that's why there's so much factors that take place in it, in the journey, right? It's like patience, consistency, resilience. Because there's times where you even reaching towards something, and you might plateau, and you have to stay at that plateau for a little while.
Hell yeah.
Before you do something to get to the next level, and you just gotta,
sometimes you gotta take a step back. And that's what people don't want to say. You know, sometimes you gotta take 2 steps back to go 5 steps forward. You know, like because like you said, sometimes you be on a path and you're like, oh shit, it's not my path. Like, oh nah, let me go back a little bit, reroute. And I don't know.
And that's the shit. You can't be mad at yourself for if you're on a path and it's not your path or whatever. Because credit yourself for trying, or credit yourself for doing it. Because if you never did it, you would never know. And it's not a fail. It's not
a fail because then you went this wrong path. Okay, but now you got experience.
Yeah.
Now you know what I mean? Now you know a little something by going down the dark alley or whatever the hell you went. Nah, it's always good to do something.
Yes.
Just do something, bro. I'm not trying to sound like no old head, right? But like, there's many moments that I'm like drained from my phone. Like I feel like there's like social media is such a distraction. Like, and now it's like, obviously it's a tool as well, right? Obviously you can use it to your benefit. But I feel like, and I think we talked about this before about the algorithm and whatnot, but like, how do you like keep yourself in check from being just wasting too much time, just scrolling or looking at YouTube videos? You know, YouTube videos can be informative, but like, do you have any like tips to like not? People be really on the, like I think about people I know and they be on their phone, bro, looking at TikTok for hours, and that shit is it's what are you doing? At a certain point, you're just consuming and there's no action being taken. So do you have any, like, what do you do? Do you do anything, or you just?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely times where I'm also, on my phone and shit too. But I think just getting busy. But I feel like overall, and this just goes from something like a phone or just something bigger in life in general, is like have your willpower. Your willpower is stronger than the program. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're programmed to look at our phone, but if you know that's not what you want to be doing, I should be doing this. You have to fucking go do it. You gotta do it.
At a certain point, you just gotta be like
you gotta
do it, right? Yeah.
You can't just expect it to, like, I don't know, bro. Like,
yeah.
I try not to look at my phone in the morning, but it's tough. And my fucking phone wakes me up with an alarm.
Yeah.
So off the bat, I'm boom, first thing, So I try to okay, no, get up, go do what you gotta do and shit,
But I do know, and I've done it too. I know that you do sometimes like a detox, like you delete apps, right? Like you delete IG for like a week or whatever. Like just to like even remove the temptation.
Yeah, and that shit helps. Yeah. Because when the times where I've deleted those apps, it's mostly IG. I don't really be on nothing else.
Yeah.
If I delete IG, and then I'll grab my phone like a reaction, like naturally, and it's like, oh no, I my phone down type shit. Like,
But that's the thing. It's like a reaction.
and
To
check
grab
my
your
text.
phone,
Nobody
like,
text me. I say less, like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a reaction. It's a program. It's already. So we have to make the willpower stronger than that program, and that's the same thing about, like I said, and bigger things in life where if you thinking, like you said, people with low self-esteem or whatever, like you know you talk, you scared of your thoughts, you talk back. You need to have that willpower. Is like, oh nah, we ain't thinking that. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough though, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
But that's what's the growth, right? Like that's all the tough shit is. That's the direction we gotta lean in.
Yeah.
Because the comfortable shit, that's what you're gonna see on the phone. You don't gotta be tough, but you're gonna sit on the phone, and then you're gonna be mad at yourself for wasting 2 hours on the phone.
And then you wake up and do the same. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got you. It's tough.
All good things worth going for is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But that starts with like having a goal to go for. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have some type of North Star. You gotta have something to be like, you know what I mean? Like I can't be just wasting time on this phone. I don't know.
But then,
I want to get a job, or I want to fucking.
But some people
work out.
will be like, "Oh, what's the problem? I'm home. I'm on the phone. Like, what's?" And
Yeah,
what can you tell them? Like, what? I can't tell you your phone is bad for you. You, your own person.
And maybe it's not. You know what I mean? I guess not. I mean, I'm saying for me, it'd be bad. I'd be like drained. Like, that's wasted an hour doing nothing on this goddamn thing. Let me go. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's different. Everyone got their own. Some people don't have goals, and that's okay too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's up to them. Like, I'm a god. I don't fucking can't tell you nothing. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I mean,
I don't think you'd be the happiest person.
I think if everyone's being, the phone is not a natural.
No.
It's not a natural thing in this world. So I mean,
There's no way we should be having. I mean, it's a benefit, right? Like, we have all the information in the world in our hands. Like, literally everything. You can take Harvard classes on your phone. So it's like crazy shit like that. But
that's another
it's
thing.
also scary. Like, you got so much information right here. Like,
I feel like if you're taking
too
classes
much.
on your phone or you conscious consumption,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you're listening to podcasts that's gonna boost yours about whatever health, finances, whatever, or you reading or you doing, then it's a tool.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
it could be a distraction.
That
it is a
minimizes the damage. You know,
Yeah.
you're not just on YouTube. You actually, learning something.
Because exactly, it's like it's also still growing your mind and still
Facts.
moving you forward as opposed to just. And don't get me wrong, I fucking scroll too,
I mean,
of course.
you're
and
a
just-
human being, right?
Sometimes I'll just like, just haha, dumb. Look at this dog, it's so cute. You know what I'm saying? But
dogs be the best on this.
right.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh nah, put this shit away, go.
The cycle is the worst. You leave Instagram to go on Twitter, to leave Twitter
That's
to
what
go
I
on
do.
YouTube, to
go
close
back to-
YouTube, to go back on it, to see somebody
It's
upload
nuts.
something.
It's
Yeah.
nuts. It's
But
nuts.
It's an addiction. It's an addiction.
It's crazy how we're like, oh, like the phone is the problem, or social media is the problem, when in reality it's like we are the problem.
Yes.
Because we are the one, like you said, are like, encouraging this programming and encouraging this this need to have to check, but it's not like our phone is telling us to check.
We're not
But that
slaves to the
notification
phone.
stuff, taking off your notifications,
I
definitely
agree.
kind of like.
That's a good key.
You know,
yeah.
My phone be on DMD dogs all the time. Like, I have different like modes, like work mode or like mindfulness mode, and that shit helps. Like,
Nah, but that shit will hit you up like, yo, Miles posted. Like it'll like, it's crazy, son. It's like, let me go check what Miles posted. That's fucking crazy.
yeah, because that's how they get paid. You know what I'm saying? These apps get paid from our attention.
Right.
So we just, I don't know. It's just.
It shows you in the fucking movie that Mark Zuckerberg, when he made Facebook, that he's like,
What?
oh yeah, send them a notification when they're off for 20 minutes.
That was a good movie. I don't remember that. But
It's crazy. Like that is
social network,
That's
right?
what they trying to do. But of course, it's his business. He wants to profit over it. He wants to.
Yeah.
You can't even be mad at the guy for it. You know what I'm saying?
Mark Zuckerberg.
You can't even think like if these things didn't exist, what would you be doing?
I can't. I have no idea. Like, I remember life without a phone,
doing
bro.
push-ups and sit-ups.
But I don't remember life without a phone. You feel me? Like,
Nah, life without a phone. I was a fucking little kid.
I think I got my first phone 13 or some shit like that. I don't know what I was doing, dogs. I don't know what I was doing before.
And it used to be just have the phone so you could call your mom. Like, Then it started getting to the sidekicks and all that shit.
Sidekick changed the game. Sidekicks were crazy.
That was the computer.
That was nigga sweat. Ooh. That was fire.
Yeah,
BlackBerry.
It's wild. Different eras.
And now it's just iPhone.
iPhone took the game by smash.
That's another, yeah, I don't know. So that's a good question. Not to change the subject, but iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Who is the GOAT like CEO? Is it? I think it's the man's.
So
Jobs.
All right, so the candidates would
Can't
be
Steve Jobs.
Zuckerberg, Elon, and Bill Gates.
And this is tech CEOs, not like all CEOs, like tech CEOs. I would say Bezos, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because Amazon's nuts.
Absolutely.
When you think about what Amazon really is, bro, they have everything.
It's a-
You
yeah.
can get anything on Amazon.
Yeah, and it started with just books.
It started with books, dogs.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's Bezos is one, Musk, Steve Jobs, and Zuckerberg.
And
I'm not gonna lie,
Bill
Elon
Gates.
Musk is out there. He's not in the conversation.
But you can't even do that.
I don't fuck with him,
It's
bro.
not fair, but I
So
think
why is he in the convo, bro?
I mean,
I got beef with him.
you
bro.
can't deny it.
What did he do? He didn't do PayPal. He was on a team with PayPal. Tesla, okay, might be fake. I think it's a Ponzi scheme.
Look,
That's my
PayPal,
opinion.
Tesla, SpaceX. the whole
SpaceX.
Twitter
I
shit.
see no space. I didn't see no.
I get it.
rockets,
I
bro.
also don't think it's Elon the
I
best.
think he's a Ponzi schemer, and dudes don't understand. Anyways, and Twitter, it's going down.
I think they all have different strengths that make them.
Okay,
I love
okay.
Steve Jobs. I think he's the best innovator out of that group.
I think so too.
He's the one who sees the future, makes it happen. He did this, bro. Like he made a fucking computer on your phone.
He made like the
apps.
most impact.
He created
in our
apps.
lives.
He created apps. Pixar, like Mac, just all that shit.
But then Zuck, Facebook is crazy, son.
I feel like what Zuck does is he mimics other people's shit and updates it and like just makes it best. You know
What was
I'm saying?
Instagram? Oh, he bought Instagram, right? He didn't make Instagram. He bought that shit.
Yeah, on the Facebook. But like even then, there was like other shit like Vine, right? Or
Yeah,
these other
I think
shits.
Twitter bought Vine.
yeah.
But like after Vine and there was one more I forgot. But like
Snapchat, he bit off the Snapchat.
but there was
feature.
another one
Snap-
too
yeah.
that was like weak. It was like Vine and some other shit that was weak, and then Instagram started doing exactly what they do.
Maybe? Periscope is
Yeah, it might have been the Snapchat shit.
think
But
it
what
was
he does
Snapchat
is like he see even with Twitter he made Threads, and like I'm not saying Threads is better. It's too early to even to see yet. But
Threads is basically Twitter. I mean, it's basically the same shit.
right, but it's like I feel like he's not an innovator in the sense
agree.
of like creating new things. He'll do what you do and make it better. And it's like, oh, it's
'Cause-
Facebook, it's Instagram. We loyal to that already.
What was before Facebook? Was it Friendster? Or some
Before
joint?
Facebook?
Or was it MySpace?
I
Just
think it was MySpace, yeah.
Well, then he made MySpace. No, but it wasn't like
There was a bunch, but
There was a bunch,
there was
right?
like
Yeah.
MySpace was the top dog
That was,
after a
Black
while.
Planet.
You got the Skonex.
Yeah, they had like Mi Gente and shit.
Skonex.
Right,
They had a
right.
Mi Gente one?
There was a Spanish one. I ain't gonna lie.
But it-
I ain't gonna
That's
lie.
fire, Mi Gente.
right?
That's
All right, come on, bro.
Loco,
Y'all know about Mi Gente. Nah? Am I bugging? Did I make that up?
You might have, bro. I
gotta
don't know.
It's my people.
I was in your crib though.
I wasn't on there. I
Black
heard of it,
Planet.
though.
Nah, I never heard of it. I was on the Black Planet shit
Yeah,
too. I remember
Oh,
that
you
shit.
on Black Planet?
Yeah, bro. Bro, my sister was
Your
into
sister,
that
that's
shit.
what it
She put
was?
me on. Like she put me on. She's like, yo, you have a profile?
Black Planet. That's dope.
But yeah, after the Facebook shit, Gates like
That's who I think.
Gates?
I think it's Gates. I think because a lot of these other
insane.
ones, it's almost like it wouldn't really exist without that freaking powerful like
Yeah.
origin. Like you know what I mean? You can't like, yeah. So I feel like Gates just made like this whole computer to be because the iPhone is pretty much a computer in your hand.
Yeah.
But the thing before that was the computer. So like he made everybody accustomed to like.
But did he create computers? He
He
created Windows, right?
kinda made it popular for the home, right?
The
Like-
interface, like Steve Jobs didn't create the phone. He just made the phone better. But
Yeah.
Yes.
there were
true.
computers and stuff like that. But he's the one that got everybody on the same wave. And when you have that, you then enable the internet to kind of exist.
Exist, yeah.
And then that's how you're able to get these apps and PayPal and Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like Bill Gates. I mean, obviously, I don't know the guy personally,
I don't fuck with Bill Gates.
but I feel like
But
know-
you talk
you
about
know-
this pure CEO.
yes,
No, yes,
no,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
exactly,
That's what I'm saying.
exactly.
In that world, he might be the that type of person where it's just like, yo, I have no type of remorse. Like I will do whatever it takes to be at the top type
tell you
shit.
something about Bill
Like people will
Gates.
die under my shit. And
Let
it
me
don't
tell you about
matter,
Bill
know?
Gates, bro. I don't fuck with Bill Gates, bro.
Bro, the
This
conspiracies
dude-
they talk about
It's not
is
even a
crazy.
conspiracy, it's a fact, right? So the dude goes in these countries, these third world countries, and he wants to eliminate poverty or some shit, I guess. This is his statement.
DK.
This is his moment, right?
That's
This
what
is
he
his
saying.
But he understands that, especially in Africa, and this is facts. You can fact check me after the fact. I'm saying the facts. In Africa, the birth rate is rising. A lot of Africans like to have sex. That's what they do. So they have a lot of sex, and they don't make enough money. Right? There's not enough resources. Not enough. They have enough resources, natural resources, but they're not making enough money. Whatever. So his plan is he wants to figure out how to decrease the population by giving them contraceptions like condoms and stuff like that. But he wants to decrease the population. My problem with him is this. Why does he think he has the right to go into any other country and tell them what to do with themselves? Maybe Africans don't want to use condoms. Who the fuck tells you it's okay to use, but he has this money, so he's like, oh, nah, I could do what I want.
Right.
Nah, bro, you ain't African. But then you got to think about the African, see, I'm getting my conspiracy theorists back, my fault.
Nah, do it.
But then you got to think about the African leaders that let him come in and why they let him come in. I don't know why, you know what I mean?
It's
Like, there's a
money
lot
too,
of things.
right?
It's all money. It's all, which is good.
Because he also was heavily pushing the vaccines and claiming his
He's
doctor
doing
title.
experiments on little black kids, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's doing.
Let me flip it on you. So let's pretend in this universe you're one of the most wealthiest people in this planet.
Yes.
You know, you probably experience a lot. You travel the world. You have a great understanding of systems and how things are connected. You have, the highest political officials on speed dial if you want to. They're over there calling you because you got to tackle a world problem. Which one is going to be and what's going to be your approach?
It would probably be poverty. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'll probably try to give people some, I'll probably do the same thing Bill did. But my problem is, I just feel like, I don't know why I don't like the concept of decreasing population. That's what I'm trying to say, right? I don't think the Africans necessarily even care about using condoms. And why are you making them use? Like, I just don't think. I think it's. And this is one of my conspiracy theories. And this is fact. His father, Bill Gates' father, was one of the main. This thing called eugenics, right? Eugenics was a movement in the early 1900s, 1920s to the 1970s, where actually started Planned Parenthood and shit like that. But it was a pseudoscience where they would want. How do I explain it? They basically were trying to not have the people that they thought were lesser than procreate, right? So you can literally Google it. I'm not making this up. This is a fact. Margaret Sanger was a creator of it, who created Planned Parenthood. Alexander Graham Bell, who found the phone. Henry Ford, who did the fucking car back in the day. These dudes started, whatever. Eugenics was like, yo, these people are not good for society, so I don't want them to have kids. So what they did forced sterilizations on them, right? Long story short, Bill Gates' daddy was a part of that joint. So when I hear him saying he wants to decrease population, it rings a bad bell in my head. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go on a tangent and wild out.
Then my son owns all the farms in America.
He owns all the
farms
he's experimenting
in America.
On kids.
He trying to run the food. Yeah.
To answer your question, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. This is a rant. But if he's doing it out of the pureness of his heart, then okay, I guess he's doing it out of the pureness of his heart. But I don't feel like it to me, son.
Well, I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but how will you approach it? You would just give money to people?
No, you can't do that. You can't because you have to obviously build infrastructure, right, to have things work, right? You can't just give people money because then I don't know what they're gonna do with it. You have to help build jobs and hospitals and schools. You have to build things like that so people can work and use the human capital that they are to generate money, but. I don't know if trying to decrease, and then it's just all funny, bro. It's just all funny to me. Like the dudes making vaccines for people. I don't know. And listen, I'm not a COVID denier. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You know that. I'm really not. I just don't fuck with Bill Gates, son. That's it.
So Steve Jobs is the best CEO.
to end the segment.
Nah, we don't have to end it. We don't have to end it.
I think Jobs might be that guy. I don't know.
Bezos is a beast though too.
Yeah. Is he the richest man right now, or is that
he up there? I think it's
Elon.
But it's Bernard Arnault.
The
dude who
LVMH.
owns LVMH, yeah, and everyone gives him money.
I mean, to be the richest, you definitely just have to be skillful. If you're a self-made, rich person, you have to be skillful.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even be mad at, like you were saying, we live in a capitalist world, right?
We do,
so it's
for
just
sure.
people's just gonna keep the rich are gonna get richer. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, shit crazy.
LVMH is a crazy brand though. They own everything: Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy. They own like mad
They own
fashion
Sephora,
brands.
Celine,
That's
Dior,
not my
Salma
No,
Hayek.
is it?
I think there's two of them.
Bernard
There's-
Arnault?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Bernard,
I
Salma
think there's-
Hayek?
No, I think there's like
Yeah, it's
another
just,
one that owns a conglomerate that's.
There's another one called
dating or something
Caring,
like
I
that.
think, or some shit like that. There's a couple big brands.
He
that
literally
own-
he owns Celine, Dior, Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy, Sephora.
Yeah,
fucking,
he's old, but he got a son. I think he's like really running it now.
It's so crazy how like how that's the thing that made somebody the richest. Like that shit must be some. Like that's just crazy.
because it's all material, right? And the rest of it,
it's
the
all
rest of the
branding.
richest
It's not-
people
it's
is
not
all
even
tech.
It's because we need materials, but it's just branding. It's just like, and when we are equipped with the information of just like these sunglasses, the manufacturers, the same, like it's all the same
all the
thing,
same
but
thing,
just
word.
you put a logo on it, and then all of a sudden you could, it makes this price higher
Yeah.
for like
It changes
insane.
demand
It's
just
insane.
by
It's
putting that
just,
logo on
like,
it. It's
it's
crazy.
insane. Nah, I seen some shit on IG. Matter of fact, one day when I was just randomly scrolling and shit, but it was like they changed the Payless and they put some shit called like Policey.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen
And
that.
they was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
like some new high end shit, which I think they was like, yo, it's so amazing, da da da. They're like, yo,
crazy.
this is just Payless, bro. And they're like, no way. So it literally is just a perception, like it's just like a mind trick type of shit.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And I guess it's kind of hard for me to. It's just crazy because like I'm just not a fashion person, but I guess so many people are that like they just feel the need to buy clothes. I guess the margins is crazy.
the margins are crazy.
But you know how many sweatshops he must have, son?
Thousands.
But the
probably.
funny thing is also he's not even a fashion guy. Like Bernard, he doesn't know
He
about
just
fashion.
owns it.
He's a businessman who bought
Right.
these brands.
Right.
He probably don't drink Hennessy. He just bought Hennessy. It's crazy. Like he just real smart business-wise. Real smart businessman.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's like he's different than like the other CEOs we said because I don't really know much about Bezos, but iPhone's like iPhone. Gates owned Windows, which is just Windows, right? Bernard, he bought a bunch of companies. He got rich by
invested in
like
everything.
by just investing. Yeah, like
becoming the owner, the main owner of everything.
yeah.
I feel like the other CEOs that you mentioned have a product, and I feel like his kind of industry is like a kind of a social status in addition to it being like a product. Like yeah, they have like garments, but
But it's also like
isn't-
Sephora. Like he owns Sephora, and that's fucking makeup and
It's everything,
perfume and yeah, he owns everything.
I
It's
can make the
crazy.
argument that the iPhone's a social statement too, a social status too, though, because I feel like when you see a dude or a girl with an Android, you think less of them. Like whether you want to say it or not, there is like you get that green text. There's like I don't know what's going on. So the iPhone, even though everyone has one,
But that's why I think
it's like I'm a part of this clique with you guys.
And that's why I think it's so genius of the Steve Jobs shit, because he makes the iPhone products more compatible with each other.
Yeah.
And then it's compatible with your laptop. And then the laptop is the cloud with the fucking it's just wild. And I feel like that's great CEO shit, because you're creating a great brand. And even after he passed, it's still the greatest. I feel like if Elon was to step off, and I got this, Ian Dunlap said some shit where he's like, yo, Elon is too, if he was to step
Like,
off
he's
with
the
Tesla,
face,
people wouldn't fuck with Tesla as much anymore because he's so attached to his brands.
Yes.
So he steps off, they might not jack it. But something like Apple is just like, yo, Apple, Google, that shit is just forever,
Amazon
no matter what.
is Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, Steve Jobs made it that way so that it's more products, and you literally have to continue purchasing from Apple.
Right, and that's another genius thing. That's
Yeah.
another genius thing.
But I'm seeing some new shit with the Androids too, though. The
I
phone
seen
can
that
charge
some
the
flip-
phone,
some
like
flip-
like they on some future shit.
But but it's already too late, because Apple's already the #1 company in the world, and if they wanted to, they could take their technology and be Apple, and now it's better. You know what I'm saying?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
We'll see.
'Cause what the iPhone's
right
been,
now,
what,
it's
20
not
years?
looking too. They have.
And that's just the phones. They also got watches and headphones,
Of course,
and
yeah.
computers
Of
and cars probably coming soon and shit.
But you know, every business could lose its number one spot. And like I feel like as much of a fan base Apple does have, they have other forces that you know, with the App Store cut with the apps and stuff like that, like, you know, Fortnite removing themselves from the thing, or the 30% tax that they charge or that they take or whatever. You know, if they stand their position, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you know, you start just being exclusively Android and stuff like that. Like, people are already doing it, that like if you subscribe to this platform on the web, it's cheaper than if you do it on the iPhone. So like if you want, because you're gonna get taxed. So like if you want to do like the Twitter Blue on the iPhone, it's more expensive because Apple gets a cut. Whereas if you do it on the web, you know, it goes just, you know, straight to the business. So people think that Apple's taking too big of a cut.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's interesting.
And now this shit not even Twitter, right? It's like X.
Not yet. Is it changed yet?
Yeah. I mean, if you go to twitter.com, I think if you go to x.com, it's also Twitter, but if you go to Twitter, it's still Twitter.
Once it becomes X, bro, I'm deleting the app. I'm telling you right now, bro, man. I'm not using no X app.
You never know, bro.
Nah, I know.
I don't use Twitter already, but I'm saying, like, what if it comes to X and then there's a new feature or some shit, you know?
You've been taken away from you.
But he said that he wants to make it a banking type
he said
of app.
some shit about that.
So I'm curious to see how he does that. It's the everything app.
Yeah, I think it's similar to how like Facebook changed its name to Meta. Like they're still Facebook, and I think Twitter's still gonna be Twitter, but like X is now becoming the
parent company type of thing.
Correct.
Interesting.
I know, but you made a point about Apple and like how you have to use
it's compatible with each other.
Yeah, which is like creating a universe, right? Like he created like this own world of Apple products, right?
Like my emojis could be seen on yours, but not on the Android.
Which I think is key to like life in general. I think about West Side Gun, right? Thinking hip hop, like he's created his own world, the Griselda world. You know what I'm saying? So you listen to his albums, don't just listen to his album, then you listen to Boldy James's album, you listen to Conway's album, Benny the Butcher's album, you know, like Stove God. It's like this whole like, I guess orbit or whatever, like a solar system of him, and same thing with the Apple product. It's just, that's a good tactic to use in life, whatever you know.
You want to call it like
whatever career you go in, whatever the hell you want to do, creative endeavor, like.
Well, it's like what we talked about with the Payless. It's just community, building a community.
Community.
You build your community up. Everyone wants to be part of your community, and your community is a big ass community, undeniable.
Yeah.
How do you know, or how do you identify when you're in a transitional period in your life, you know? And I don't know, I feel like, I guess one of the main things that come to my mind is if you're doing things, you're going places, or you're around people and you just maybe feel unfulfilled, or you feel, you know, you need something different, or you need, something's not, that's when you need to change something. Yeah. And that's the transitional period. You know what I'm saying?
That could be definitely, I mean, I think, yes, I think if you're hanging around friends, or if you're even at work and you're around your coworkers and you're like, I remember I was in like, it was like senior year, and obviously that's a transitional period, right? But I remember there was a time I was like sitting in class, and it was like this second half of the year, it was like the last month of class or whatever, like it was a super unnecessary day to be there. And I'm sitting in class, and I'm sitting like on a couch, like just like this, and then like a bunch of kids were like there, and they're talking, they're having a fun time, and I'm just sitting here like, why the fuck am I here right now? Yeah. Like it was like a time where I was just like, I don't want to like talk to them about nothing. Like I don't like I'm not going to the same school as them. Like I got no, and mind you, like probably a month prior, we were all chatting, cracking jokes, you know what I'm saying? But it was a point in my life I was like, we're on two different paths, and you like you said, you can feel it. There's a moment when you can feel it when you're around certain people. Like, this is just not gonna work anymore. Like I gotta dip. So and it could be sad, but I also don't think it gotta be necessarily a negative thing. You know, it don't gotta be like an anger thing. Just kind of like, we're just on two different paths now, bro. Yeah, shit happens, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just people, right? Like, it also depends how attached you get up to things, because you could still have love for those people. If If you do.
For me, like that, yes, that those are two different things, right? Like just because we're not on the same path together anymore, doesn't mean I don't have love for you. Like, and that's what some people don't really get, like I guess in life and shit. Like for me, my love for you is deep. Like if anybody ever needs me and who I love, and they call me like, "Yo, Miles, I need you. Come move this or whatever they need." I'm that type of person that drops in the second, like, bet, let's go. And that's what I was saying about what I want to be remembered as. Like, I want to be remembered as that person that, like, just because I don't talk to you every day anymore, it doesn't mean I don't love you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still family, whoever you are. Like, anyway, I'm not thinking about it in particular. I'm just saying in general. But they think sometimes people think it's like I hate them, or there's no hate in my heart at all.
Yeah.
I don't got time for that. Like, at all.
Nah, yeah, you gotta understand that sometimes, and you can't take things personal. That's one of the 4 agreements. Another great book.
I don't know what that, the 4 agreements?
Yeah. You ever read that, Fee?
I did. My sister recommended it to me when I was like in high school.
It's a good book.
I remember like the main one I remember was like be impeccable with your words.
Be impeccable with your words. Don't take things personal. And I can't remember the other 2. But don't take things too personal. You know what I'm saying? If someone is doing something, you know.
The 4
but
is
tough.
Be impeccable with your word. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. If you just follow those 4 things, you
like
should
that.
be out.
That's like a good
Like
guidance.
that. Always do your best is underrated. It's underrated. Just try your best. That's all. We all should be trying our best. That's dope.
Don't take anything personally. I feel like it's the biggest hurdle for a lot of people.
Hell
yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's hard not to take shit personal.
But people don't understand that a lot of times if someone does something to you, even if it feels mad personal, it's more of a reflection of who they are. It's more of a reflection of what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what sucks. It's like, damn. But yo, a lot of times, bro, if they did you wrong, bro, it's like they got some shit going on in their life. Doesn't mean you need to tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? But it also doesn't mean like you gotta hate that person. Like,
I feel like the more real you are, the less you take things personal.
I think so too.
I agree with that.
I think so too.
I agree with that.
It's a great piece.
And that's
Don't
a
make
whole-
assumptions is a pretty tough one too for people.
Yeah.
Shit, don't make assumptions.
They say don't make an ass out of you and me.
You said what?
Don't assume it makes an ass out of you and me.
Oh,
know?
okay, that's a bar.
That's like that, cliche joint, but it's real. It does. Because it makes
yeah.
you look worse than you are, and it makes me look like an idiot because it's not the truth. It's like, don't assume.
Assumptions is tough too. Yeah, those are tough.
Because
Those are
when I
challenges.
think of assumptions, I think of like expectations. So
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like, people just have expectations of how everyone is supposed to respond to the thing that they're doing.
Right.
And then when you get the feedback and it's not what you expected it to be,
It could be a letdown because you thought something.
Right. And which is why what Katie said, the more you heal, the easier it is not to take things personal, the easier it is not to assume because you're moving in more of a purity as opposed to like
Genuine.
doing things, oh, I'm gonna say this because they're gonna love it, and they don't love it, and now you're fucking mad, and it's just
I
like,
hate that.
yeah.
I don't like the word hate, but I don't fuck with that. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's tough. You know what I mean? Like, it's also not even that person's fault too. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know. You know, like, because maybe their intentions was to say some shit to boost everybody, and you say some shit, they start cutting your ass, and it's like, damn, like, you know, like, or some shit. I don't know.
Oh man.
It's like what we were talking about the other day. Like, at what point do we stop going against nature? You know what I'm saying? We was talking about AI. We was talking about dudes was talking about, oh, if you can't figure out a way to outlive the sun, it's like, bro.
I was on the tequila. That's what we said we was talking about.
Bro, we was in the restaurant.
That sounds crazy, son.
We was talking about the whole shit about the fucking Spaniards coming over and conquering the land.
Yeah.
And would it have been better if they never did? Or because we are where we are today, is it
That was a
is it
good combo.
valid?
That's a good combo.
It's a great combo.
You shot a camera right there. That would be nice.
Is it not recorded still? It's recorded.
No, I'm saying at the restaurant.
Oh,
At
in the
Grupo.
restaurant. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, you know, and what I was saying is like, I guess it sounds selfish to be like, oh, it's better that happened because we got cool things today and it's lit today, you know? But, you know, there was arguments like, yo, like, but what if we could figure out a way to outlive the sun and shit like that? And I'm just like, yo, at what point do we stop going against God's work? You know what I mean? Like, why would, if we're not meant to be past the sun, like, maybe we shouldn't be past the sun. I don't know, bro. Like, maybe we're not supposed to see what that world is like, or some shit. I don't know.
Going past the sun sounds kind of crazy.
well, how do you know if something is like
Or like the
far.
AI.
Within our nature, when you're talking about like humanity in its entirety, because you're saying like we as
Even
a
the
group
discoveries are of
humans,
humanity,
that's probably part of our nature to be curious, to
explore,
survive.
to push,
and this is the way
Absolutely.
we're figuring out a way that there's a millions of us, you know, and we're surviving. We have systems in this world where we're surviving.
Yeah.
What about the aliens? I'm saying, they just got the aliens, they confirmed.
That's what they said, right? Yeah. I mean, until I see one of them motherfuckers.
Who's the aliens?
Nah, they said
aliens?
like Complex, right? Was it Complex that announced it, or like who not?
Nah,
I
that
seen
was
it on the
like Congress. That was
Complex.
like the Congress. That was
Congress. Yeah, not Complex.
Like,
government.
like
Congress.
testifying.
Nah, they saying that they found UFOs and they found non-human species in
Yes. What goes to my mind is like, why are they telling us this now?
there. I think it's all part of their shit because they've been new, bro.
They've known since the 30s supposedly. So why are you telling us 100? Like, there's some like,
Bro.
what happened? Why?
And that's what I always
That's why I
be
don't trust
saying.
people.
I feel like people be under the impression that the higher ups is supposed to have our best interests, and we get like, oh, but we not. But they don't give up. Like their plan is working just fine.
Yeah.
It's us making assumptions and being like, yo, why they don't teach us this in school? Because they don't want you to learn this. That's why they don't teach you it in school. They don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's. But as people under the government or whatever the case, is just we think we should get this, we should get this. It's tough. It fucking sucks. You know what I mean? Because ideally it would be lit if we had shit ran by like, yo, we want people to be great.
People who care for us and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's not what it is. It's, you know, so I feel like people need to just stop thinking that shit
Hell yeah. You're right.
and do what you gotta do. Like if you gotta fucking homeschool your kid or you gotta whatever the case, I don't know, bro. Like or you gotta teach your kids at home.
Yeah.
What you need them to learn, what you want them to learn.
Well, yeah, I think you definitely
combination of
cannot
both.
rely on traditional school to be the one thing that is supposed to teach your,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I also think that in your household, that's where you teach your kids their core values,
Yes.
Of course.
family traditions,
Yes.
and morals,
Mm-hmm.
school's education.
Right.
Academics.
No, yeah.
That's the disconnect now is that you can't rely only on school to raise your kids.
But it's also the education they teaching the kids sometimes is either false or rewritten or
Well, they got the dude in Florida, DeSantis, over here trying to say that slavery helped black people.
yeah, exactly. You got shit
What?
like that. So it's like just
Like
crazy.
shit like that. Like this dude really banning books. Like it's a lot going on right now in society. That's you gotta keep your eye on it, bro. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But like Katie was saying, like it is important to also teach at home because like Malcolm X, I didn't learn about Malcolm X in school. Like that's from my house. That's from growing up in a household that was conscious. Like you know, like obviously we heard about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, but I did the knowledge because my father, my brother, my mom. So that's I think very important. You know.
Hell yeah.
Obviously,
That's probably where you discover arts and music mostly
OD,
too. All
hell
that shit, yeah.
All that shit, like hip hop, all that. So those 8 hours at home, whatever the hell it is, and 2 days in the weekend, that's important for the kids. Because obviously, yeah, you're saying that the school, who knows what the school's teaching them, but I know I control what I'm teaching them.
Yeah.
With my, you know what I mean? So I think that's important.
Yeah. And they learn the most from what they see. It's not even what they're hearing. So if they see you doing, they gonna follow that shit.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but it's tough. It's tough because we're making assumptions that people have parents that are level-headed and strategic and being thoughtful about this stuff. But you know, in an ideal world, it's like that. But
in reality,
it's tough, especially when you come from a different country too. That's why we got to give it up to like the people, the person in your family who immigrated over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like dropped everything, different language.
Yeah, that's crazy when you think about that.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Katie said some shit earlier, like when you heal, it becomes easier to, I think, do all this shit, do a lot of these things, you know what I mean? From raising your family in a healthy way to not making these assumptions or not relying on other people to take care of you. But that's a whole nother thing too, is like, what is healing? like, does everyone? People don't even know they need to heal. You know what I'm saying? Like, healing is not only from traumas or some shit. Always, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, yeah, trauma might be an OD like dramatic word.
Well, there's emotional healing and physical healing. So like if you get a cut, you physically healing,
Right.
and then there's just like healing from something that's bothering you.
I mean, and I think a lot of it is maybe not even healing is maybe not even the right word, but like, you know when they say that you gotta unlearn a lot of things and relearn things, or like, because a lot of the time you grow up and you learn only what you're around, right? Your family and stuff. And then some people probably never question that their whole entire life. And they just go with those beliefs.
Yeah.
And those are your parents' beliefs. And sometimes maybe you gotta like, what do you believe? What do you feel is your core value?
But that's
What
why
do
it's
you
important.
know?
It's important to change your environment too, right? Like I was listening to Pod, and this Pod was talking about identity and goals, and she was talking about this black dude who went to jail at 15. He like did a carjacking, and then when he got into jail, he read this dude's book, The Black Poet or something. Whatever. He read this book. It's probably a story for a lot of black people, and a lot of people in prison in general. He read this book, and then he was just saying like, how can I change the way I look at myself by just all I see is people in jail and people that went to jail. You know, like this is my environment. But then he read he read like mad books, and it changed the way he looked at himself. And he went out. And when he got out, he like became like went to Yale Law School. Became like a super big author. But my point being that like you gotta change the environment. If you can't change the environment, change what you're reading, change what you're watching, change what you're scrolling on, like the information, the consumption. Like
yeah, conscious
you
consumption.
gotta if what you're doing has got you in a place where you're dumb, then you gotta switch that shit up in some way.
But that's the shit. Sometimes it's so like
You don't even know
far
you're
into
dumb.
that, you don't even know that
Yeah.
something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Cause you're just like, oh yeah, everyone look, we all doing it, or some shit, you know, like, so it's hard to be conscious. How do you even teach consciousness? I don't know. This is a whole nother thing, but
Teach consciousness is crazy.
like,
yeah,
how do you be conscious?
I don't know.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's a
Like
deep
it's
question.
just being aware, but some people don't have sometimes the space to have a calm mind where they can digest and process things.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just very reactive, right? They just like act on emotion, or there's no type of like conscious. I forgot what I read the book Untethered Soul.
Okay.
And there was one thing he said in there. He was like, "You're aware, but who's aware of your awareness?" It's like it was just crazy. Like it's just like we're like little ass person being John Malkovich sitting in there looking through the eyes, just really controlling shit, because it's crazy, son. Like if you know you're aware, but who knows you're aware? You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like it's deeper than that. Word, shit's crazy.
Cowboy Mick was in full effect 2 days ago.
Top Boy Mick, yeah.
You were on shot duty.
Listen, you come to the house, it's a bar. You feel me? It's not a home, it's a bar. You gotta have some fun, man. You gotta have some fun. It was a good night. The pizza was pretty good. And the wings was good.
Solid.
Yeah. What you got, the pasta?
I had chicken parm and salad. Bussin', shit was good.
I had to eat when I got home.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't have an appetite when I was at the restaurant, so I thought the wings and the pizza was just perfect. But then it was like one of those things where I had to order a drink, and I was like, no.
Yeah, you gotta put something in your stomach, pause. Yeah, what'd you have?
What'd you eat? Talk about it, man.
She had a sandwich or some shit.
Man, I go 1 a.m. cheeseburger.
I feel, bro, you can't, bro. It happens, bro. Especially after you sauce.
Yeah, you
So then we get a chopped cheese on the hero.
Everything.
I was telling Fee, I just seen this movie yesterday, bro. That shit is crazy.
Oh yeah.
The Sound of the Freedom shit. It's crazy. I don't know. I feel like I gotta say it just because it's like the whole point is to spread awareness on the shit, you know?
Okay.
But that shit is insane, bro. Sick shit, bro. Like the opening scene is like, bro, it's in Honduras or some shit, right? And like this model agency, they come to this door and they like, yo, your kids will be great models, boom, boom, boom. Bring them, boom, we gonna pay you, boom. They bring them. They're like, yo, come back tomorrow 5 p.m. pick up your kids. Like, he's in Honduras, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, maybe it's just not as Maybe they need the money more.
Leave the kids they said leave the kids with us?
Yeah, and that's already the first thing where I'm like, I would never. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going home, bro.
Right. Well, I'm waiting
sure
in front
they do it to poor families and be like, yo,
yeah, yo, we give you $5K, and it's just like, my kid be model, everyone happy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you'll come back tomorrow, 5 p.m., pick up your kids, and there's other kids in the room. There's mad kids in there and shit. Come back the next day, the whole operation is just gone, bro. It's like nothing. There's just nobody's there, and it's just like, it's fucked up, son. It's fucked up. Yeah. That shit is crazy. The whole movie's like about trying to find the kids and shit. It's bugged out.
It's like Taken, but like higher stakes.
Extreme. Yeah.
Taken is fire.
Taken was fire.
I could watch Taken.
Yeah.
There's like 4 or 5 of them shits, right?
Yeah, they did too much.
Oh, all right. I could watch the first one.
You got a list of movies that define you?
Yeah, I do. I fucking do, yeah. I got 3 off the rip. Like, okay, I won't say define me, but like, these are like...
Hold a place
in my heart. Like, these movies I watch
Staples.
always. They're fucking weird movies. So, Vanilla Sky.
Tom Cruise,
My
right?
man Tom Cruise, everyone hates him as my mans.
Isn't he a fucking... What's the name of this shit?
Oh, he's a Scientologist. In real life, yeah. But Vanilla Sky is one of them. He plays like... It's a weird movie. Like, I don't want to give up too much away. Obviously, it's an old-ass movie. But, like, he is, like, this rich, spoiled kid. Like, he owns his company. And he's, like, a playboy. Got, like, a couple joints, right? And, like, he falls in love with, like, Penelope Cruz. But Cameron Diaz is, like, a psycho. Still in love with him. Some shit happens, and then basically you don't know what's real and what's a dream, and it's like a weird mind fuck movie. Like, you don't know what's reality and what's not. Vanilla Sky's fire. Scarface, because I'm a gangster.
Word. You gotta get what you're not trying. Scarface.
You know what I'm saying?
You got yeah.
No, Ojo, I love Scarface because Ojo side. It's like the best rags to riches movie ever.
Nah, Scarface
Like,
is, yeah.
everyone thinks it's overrated. Not everyone. A lot of people think it's overrated, sure. But for rags, this dude was nothing, bro, and became the kingpin. Like, that shit was like, it's just motivational to me. I don't know
There's
why.
no way it's overrated.
Dude he couldn't speak English, barely. And then, third flick, I said Vanilla Sky, my fucking Scarface, and I'll put, this ain't my favorite movies, but it's my 3.
The ones that define you.
We gonna put,
Brokeback Mountain?
nah, hey yo, I was gonna do.
Hey yo,
Nigga threw me for a loop right that one. Acting unusual.
that's Joe.
Damn, what's the third joint?
I got 2
I
of
say
mine.
Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is my favorite.
That's
movie,
probably my favorite. Yeah.
But Goodfellas is just dope. Like, just dope fucking movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I think mine is probably like Matrix.
Remember we watched that joint back in the day? Went back to your crib and played it?
Nah,
We was like little
didn't we
kids.
watch that shit in the crib?
I thought we watched the
DVD
movie
or some
theater.
shit?
Oh, maybe the DVD. Maybe, yeah.
That shit came out like 99 or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Matrix, I Am Legend,
Mm.
because that's my shit, I'm not gonna lie.
It's a good one.
And I mean, Goodfellas is one of my shit, Scarface, but those are like favorites, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if a third, I'm trying to think of a good third. I could say Lion King at any time, but it's just not.
No, that's definitely my top 3.
Lion King is just epic,
Land Before
bro.
Time?
Bro,
I used to love that
Land
joint.
Before Time, All Dogs Go to Heaven, all that shit. What's the other shit? Homeward Bound?
Homeward Bound.
Y'all seen Homeward Bound?
I never
It's a
seen
classic. It's good. The dog, right?
It's like 2 dogs and a cat.
Yeah.
And they like they got lost from their home. They're just on a journey. Like, this is bugged out.
Now, what'd you say? You said.
I said Matrix, I Am Legend.
I see a common thread in your shit. I see a common thread in my shit too, though. You feel me?
What's the
Common
common
and
thread?
gangster.
Common
that's
thread.
about
I'm
it.
interested in that. What's the common thread you see like?
In yours?
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely. I feel like individualism is a big theme. You know, like the individual Matrix who's going between the 2 worlds. You know, it's not the whole society that is experiencing this. It's this individual that has to kind of choose.
That's fucking interesting.
And then you know,
It's like the same shit with I Am Legend. Like he's dealing with this
Yes.
epidemic or whatever.
Yes, by himself, like lone wolf type shit.
Wow, bro, this is
And then-
you a therapist, bro? Like, what the fuck, bro? This shit, son just flipped the switch and Lion King, my son Simba's on his own trying to make it back to the King's Landing. Like,
And this is we gotta be worried about Miles. That's all I'm
I don't even want to hear your explanation.
wait, what was this shit? Oh, Scarface, Vanilla Sky,
Scarface,
and Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, some nut
Yeah.
shit.
You
Mafia.
had me with the Scarface.
crazy.
The Scarface, I was like, all right, the rag to riches and this
Come
and all
on,
that.
come
And then
on,
you threw
come
in
on.
Goodfellas too. I was like, okay, nah, this is mixed with the 50. I was like, look.
Oh, mine?
Put it inside.
Inside? Where is it? I don't know where it's at.
Nah, yeah, they're all good films. I think the only one I haven't seen was the Vanilla Sky shit, Vanilla Ice or whatever it's called. Vanilla Sky, right?
You never seen Vanilla Sky?
Nah, I just remember the cover. He's like face is like crazy, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it away. Fuck it. So the dude loves Penelope Cruz. Cameron Diaz is like psycho about him, right? Whatever. They get in a car and the dude, she like drives off a cliff with him in the car.
Oh, no.
She dies. His face gets all cooked, and like he's like the CEO of a company, right? He's trying to return to society, whatever. And then things start going weird in his life. He's like seeing people that are dead, and like he's like bugging out, like what's going on? Long story short, he dies. And then, but before he died, he went to this thing called lucid dreaming. And they were like, yo, when you die, we can take your brain or your consciousness and it'll put you like in this dream for the rest of it, so whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? So like after you're dead, your conscience is still living on. It's some nut shit. It's still living on. So he ends up dying and he was like, but there's a moment where like, okay, where's your life? Where do you want your life to be? So you could be like, yo, after you die, you could be like a millionaire or be like a basketball player or whatever. He was like, I want to fall in love with Penelope Cruz's character, like and be in love with her. It was just a crazy movie. Like it was just because he starts bugging out. Like yo, I don't know what's reality and what's fake. Like he's on trial. It's nuts. You gotta watch the movie. I don't want to give it away, but I just
sounds crazy.
But you seen that?
But when we look at it, it'd be like, yo, this is what defined Miles right here. You heard?
Yeah, but you gotta go deeper. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like on the surface. It's layers, but whatever. Yeah.
If y'all had the option to live forever in some form,
I've
y'all would
always
do
said
it?
yes. I've always said yes.
I would. I feel like I would say yes if I was on some. If I could just stay me though. You know what I'm saying? Not
Like
if I'm
able.
I'm not if I'm in the conscious in another
yeah,
body
like
or some
decrepit
other
and
crazy
stuff.
shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
all that extra shit, bro. Just forget it. I'll die. Like you know. But if I'm like on just some Wolverine shit, just live forever. Like fuck it. You
Like
know?
a vampire.
I mean, without the teeth and all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I could just be see God and just keep going.
I've always said yes because I like that. I like the idea of having an opportunity forever. You know what I'm saying? Like always having an opportunity to do something.
And you would be old or you would stay at like 40 or some shit, 35.
I say 31, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, but then that's the other side. In reality, bro, you gotta at a certain age start accepting death. Like, it's the only thing we know is gonna happen. You said that to me. It was like the only thing you know is gonna happen is
The
death.
only
So,
thing
like,
that's a guarantee we know. It's a fact.
I
Death is life,
don't
life
want
is
death
death.
to come, but I'm also not afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, bro, like, part of cycle, man. It's part of cycle of life. So,
It's life, bro.
so to answer your question, nah, I don't know. And also, if I'm gonna live forever, am I gonna be like decrepit and like old and like my
That's what I'm
body
saying.
is
Like,
trash?
yeah.
If I'm gonna be healthy, then
Nah, you're gonna have a fresh shape up.
if I'm like that, let's go.
If you got permanent fresh shape up, you confident?
What? Easily, bro. Hit the lineup forever?
Nah, that's jokes.
Nah, it's over. It's over.
Oh shit.
That's a good question. What about you? You said you would? Just in case you can't go into other bodies.
Live forever?
Yeah.
I would live forever if I like you said, I could stay like 35 or some shit.
Yeah.
Or like not an old ass person. No disrespect. And or like if it's not my conscious in another body or some weird Black Mirror shit.
Gotcha,
Or like
gotcha.
Vanilla Sky, you don't know
Yeah.
what's reality or not. Like I don't want to deal with that shit.
I feel you.
I would just if I could just you know what I'm saying? Just go.
Are you guys afraid of being old?
No,
at
I'm not
all.
afraid of being old, but if I'm gonna live
can't wait.
forever, I don't want to be
Yeah, you want to
old
be
forever.
In your,
I mean, I'm gonna be just 90 for 100, like forever. Like,
I be
being
type 5 though.
98
You some
is-
wizard of the world.
yo, that's true. I might do that.
You might
I would
be
have
a
to be a wizard.
wizard.
I would have to be a
That's
wizard.
fire.
I have to be a wizard. You're right.
See? That's fine.
Because I'm imagining I'm just like on some 35 forever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
God willing, I even see 35. You know?
I'll still do that one though.
Yeah.
With the younger one, right? Because you quicker.
I'll
like,
be a low key wizard.
you
know
push
what I
ups. We wizards. We wizards ready right now.
Nah, facts. Wizards.
Which is in the making.
comedy.
Star Wars is also a tough ass movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Star Wars is great.
Star Wars is tough.
Star Wars is great.
And then Fury, you ever seen that one?
We went to go see that in theaters. Yeah,
Fury's
yeah.
tough.
It was
That's
Simon's
one of
birthday.
mine. I feel like
Fury's
that,
a
yeah.
dope flick.
Oh yeah, what's your movies,
I
bro?
would say Fury, Lion King,
Nice.
and this movie Awaken Life.
Okay.
What?
Which
Who's
is
in that?
Awaken. I don't even know like
Okay.
the actors or actresses in there, but it's pretty much a movie about some dude who got into like a deep lucid dream and is trying to escape out of it. But every time he wakes up, he's in like a new scenario or a new kind of situation. And each of those situations, he's having a conversation with somebody who's like philosophical. So like, it's like a movie of like this guy's interaction with like these different people from different aspects of the world, and they pontificate on a theme that's similar to this. This would be a great movie for both of you guys to watch. But I just like it because the movie is like a stream of conscious, and it kind of it makes you feel like super aware and stuff.
Hold up.
It's like some animation shit too. It's not like a.
That's tough. It's animation? Wait, it's not that shit you told me to watch when I was tripping and shit, right?
Yes, and I think we even watched a few scenes because like on YouTube you could go to specific scenes, and I've showed you a few scenes.
Nah, that's look crazy.
Way back, but
It's like animated too and shit like that.
So I've seen what you've shown me then.
yes, you've seen like scenes of it.
So you said Awaken Life, Lion King.
And Fury.
Oh, Fury.
And Fury is just that like relentless, you know, chance, fighting spirit. Like it's just something about that's like freaking crazy.
Hell yeah. It's like, yo, just willing to die for this shit. But I'm gonna just go hard.
And whether or not you want to be in this situation, you're in it.
You're in it and you deal with it, yeah. I fuck with Shia LaBeouf heavy. I know he's like got a crazy, you know, I guess controversy stuff, but I always fuck with Shia LaBeouf.
Me too.
And that's one of the actors or people that I fuck with that's like close to my age. I feel like there's not many people like that, or even musicians. Well, actually, musicians not, but actors. Yeah, that I feel like a lot of my favorite actors is older. You know, Shia LaBeouf is.
That Shia LaBeouf is dope. He got some shit.
But
He's good in that movie.
For music, it's Lupe's Food and Liquor, J. Cole, Forest Hill Drive, and probably Drake, Nothing Was the Same.
Nice. Forest Hills Drive is such a fire album, bro. Yeah. Like such a fire album.
Forest Hill
J.
Drive.
Cole's.
I had that shit physical.
Yeah, that was a game changer.
I mean, that's he had his best projects ever, right? Were probably, in my opinion, Warm Up, Friday Night Lights, and Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah.
Come Up was dope. I like Warm Up.
Yeah, Warm Up is the one.
And Friday Night Lights was OD.
I like all of his projects, except his first album.
It's for
The Sideline Story. He got a few shits that like
He got a few joints.
But he's talked about it. Like that was like his label
Yeah.
shit that he felt he had to do different. And that's what we talked about last time, about feeling like you have to please others, feeling like you have to do things for others, or feeling like you have to do things that you have to do as opposed to.
But I think a lot of artists do that too. Like their first album is like for the label, and then their second album is more for them.
Personal.
You know what I'm saying?
Which sucks. Like, you know. But that's like old tradition, I feel like, you know. Now it's more like, you know, I would imagine a good label is like wants the artist to be
themselves.
I feel like labels is not even hitting the same anymore.
Yeah, labels ain't even hitting, right.
They're really not. I don't know.
It's all about this like distribution deal, and then.
And you kind of got to get your buzz on your own. I feel like too. Like
it all comes down to building a community.
It's very dependent on the artist, and then people sign them after the fact, you know, and give them a $2 million deal or some shit. But
because you want to, as a label, I'm imagining you want to get an artist that already has a following.
Yeah, because you don't make money on CDs anymore.
Right, so you don't want to make an artist hot. Like that's too much work.
It's hard to make money as a record. You gotta like, I guess, put them in a 360 deal to make money off of their touring. I would assume so, like, or merch or some shit. And then why as an artist would you do that? But then as an artist, you'd sign because then you get more exposure. It's complicated. I don't know.